I'm Dan Guptill, and this is one of my favorite chapters from A Fisherman's Tale, chapter 24. The night before, Jesus had told us we needed to get ready for a trip. He said that we'd be gone for a week or more. The next destination, Nazareth. Jesus was taking us to the little town he'd grown up in, and we'd get a chance to meet his family. Esther wasn't all that excited about me being gone, but with her mother feeling better and Eli tending to the fishing business, there wasn't any reason for me not to go. Early that morning, the 13 of us gathered just outside of town. The morning was cool as we started along the road heading south. I'd never been outside of Capernaum. There had never been a reason to. Everything I needed was here. Besides, leaving Capernaum meant leaving Galilee, and I couldn't imagine not being close to the water. The further we got from the lake, the browner everything got. It was like the countryside had lost its color. It was mid-morning when it happened. He came out of nowhere without warning. I don't know what he was thinking. Apparently, he wasn't. There were no ringing bells, no shouts, no warning, nothing. 1 minute we're just strolling along. Jesus is talking about what it means to be part of the kingdom. And the next minute, he was a mess. His clothes were filthy and torn. His hair and beard were long and matted, and he stunk. He smelled of neglect and rot. And physically, he was horrifying. I had heard about people like him, but by law, they weren't supposed to come close enough so you could actually see the damage the disease had done. And looking at this wreck of a human being, I understood why the disease was so feared. The man was a leper. He shuffled toward us, dragging one twisted leg while claw-like fingers reached out to Jesus. His face was contorted, and where his nose had once been, now there was just a gaping hole in his face. Lumps and bumps distorted his facial features. His voice was a rasp hoarse, the result of unseen damage to his throat and vocal cords. Wheezing came from the wreckage of his nose, accompanying each word. Jesus, please, please help me, Jesus. I wasn't sure if he was pleading for healing or death. All I knew that I wanted to be very, very far away from this thing and his disease. I suppose I should have felt pity for the man. Instead, all I felt was terror. It was too late for this man. It was just a matter of time before the leprosy killed him. But why would he want to share his fate with us? I looked around, and the reaction of the rest of the group seemed to mirror mine. They just weren't sure which way to run. And then Jesus did the unthinkable. He reached out and placed his hand on the man's arm. You touched me. Nobody's touched me in years. The man seemed overwhelmed by the simple gesture. Friend, what is it you want? What do I want? I want everything. I want to be healed. I want my life back. I want to feel my wife's embrace. I want to hold my children. And you think I can give that to you. You think I can do the impossible. Even here, we've heard stories about how the lame have walked and the blind have seen. If you can give a blind man something he has never had, there's no reason why you can't give me back what's been taken from me. Oh, Jesus turned and looked at us, cowering behind him, trying to figure out what a safe distance might be. Did you hear that, boys? The man believes I can do what can't be done. And then turning back to the man, he said, Friend, your faith has made you well. I'll never forget what happened that day. If I hadn't seen it myself, I would never have believed it. Before my eyes, the man changed. It was almost as if he had become another person. The hand reaching out toward Jesus suddenly changed shape. Crooked fingers straightened. Enlarged, swollen knuckles shrank. When my eyes shifted from his hands to his face, I saw his nose appear from the crater in his face. His healed hands moved to run over a face that was now bump-free, to feel a nose that had not been there for years. Oh my God! The hoarseness in his voice had disappeared. His voice was clear and sweet. Indeed, but you can just call me Jesus. It's less awkward that way. As the man gazed at Jesus, his eyes filled with tears. What each statement was left unfinished as the man tried to deal with what had happened. Joash, your faith has made you whole again. How did you know my name? I'm sorry. What a stupid question. You just did the impossible. Why wouldn't you know my name? Jesus smiled. Oh, I know a lot more than your name, but that's not important. Don't tell anyone what happened today. It would just complicate things for you and for us. Go to the priest with your offering. Have them declare you clean. Just smile when they ask how it happened. Then get washed up and go home. Embrace your wife and hold your children. But what can I do for you? How can I ever repay you? Or just live your life well and remind people how much God loves them.